Hello folks, welcome back. It's late June and this is the result of our cutting back on the Chinese elm for the broom style. And what we're going to do today is we need to start selecting branches that we're going to keep and branches that we don't need, we need to eliminate. So let's go ahead and get started. Like I anticipated, this thing just exploded with growth and we've got way more than what we need. So we need to start looking at what we want to keep and what we don't want to keep. And that way the energy can be focused into the branches that we keep from here on out for the rest of the growing season. So what we need to do is just kind of get in here and see what we have to work with. And I want to try to keep some branches that are growing inward as well as growing outward, maybe a few a little bit lower than I would normally keep, just for the fact that I want to have a few more than what I need at first, and then we can eliminate them as we go. So what I want to do is get in here and start eliminating some of these branches. Now also keep in mind, you want your largest branches at the bottom, and of course smaller branches going towards the top. And of course any crossing branches or anything along those lines, you want to make sure you take care of those as well. And it appears that we have quite a few of those. So we'll just go through here and select some branches we want to keep and eliminate the ones that we don't. Just go through the tree and get it worked. Now, at first I'm going to keep 6-8 branches per trunk here. And that way I've got more to work with once I get it all thinned out and I actually can see what I'm dealing with. Now I've got some dominant stuff here too. It's actually a little bit lower than where I would want it to be, but let's see. Yeah, I don't want this front trunk here leaning any more forward than it already is, so I'm going to eliminate that branch. Go ahead and just do away with these as well. Let's get up here in the meat and potatoes and see what we're dealing with. We have a good branch in the back to keep. Another thing I'm doing is I'm trying to avoid a bunch of branches coming out at the same location, because they'll have a reverse taper or a nice swell there that you don't want to have. I'm trying to thin these branches out to where I'll have them coming out at different locations on the tree. But this tree has reacted a ton. And has answered the call. From the pruning that we did last year. It has put off a ton of growth. them growing in the crotch of these tubes. It was growing the right direction, it was fairly thick, it was just kind of in the wrong location. So I want to eliminate that right off the bat. Leave that one for now, just in case. Let's see what we got back in here. We've just got a madhouse of branches here that we need to look at and figure out what we're keeping and what we're not. I've got two coming through here. I don't know that I need branches out that far, although that would be a nice part of the silhouette for this broom to be in its final shape. I've got one here that's growing out, and I've got one right behind that's growing up. They're both in the same location, so we've got to eliminate one of them. And not sure exactly yet which one I'm going to eliminate. So let's move on to the back side of the tree here. And look at it. Look at getting some of that taken care of. Now I've been wanting to try to get some branches growing towards the center of these trunks instead of on the outside. This tree so far has had a tendency to put a bunch of branches on the outside edges instead of in the center. I don't necessarily care for that. I want to get some in the center that'll fill out the center as well. It looks like I have done that this time around. So that's a good thing. Because part of a broom style tree is branches on the inside as well as the outside. You don't see trees in nature that have a bunch of branches on the outside and they're hollow in the center. So I think we've accomplished that on this sprouting, which is a good thing. These little teeny ones here. And what I've done this year, I actually let these grow a little bit longer this year and stronger than I did the years past. And the squirrels, since we had such a bunch of rain this year, didn't really attack these trees too bad this year. So I'm happy about that, which has in turn given me the ability to let this thing take off this year. It's been pruned back hard the past couple years in a row, so I wanted it to get a chance to get some good energy into the root system. So, okay, we've got that one, that one, that one, that one. This one here can be eliminated. It's not doing us any good. So I'm just going to continue going through the tree and selectively keeping branches and eliminating the ones that we don't want. And we'll be back here in a little while. Stick with us. Okay, we're back. As you can see, I've thinned out the mass of twigs considerably. Now another thing that I've done as well is, instead of letting these continue to grow freely and getting thickened up a whole lot and then chopping it back and repeating the process, I've cut these down. Okay, I've cut about 3/4 of the length of each one of these branches off the tree this year. And what's going to happen is all the remaining leaves that are on here are going to send out branches. So this thing's going to double in capacity as far as leaves this year alone. What we'll do the following year is, in the fall, we'll revisit the tree and we'll probably cut another 3/4 of that each individual branch back again to a set of branches. So we're going to have a lot of branching. There's going to be a lot of leaf development. I left plenty on here again for the tree to kind of recover. The last couple of years it's had it kind of hard, and I don't want I don't want to really hack it back and hack it back and hack it back, because it's putting all of its energy that's stored in its roots into producing foliage and branches. So I'm kind of taking a little bit different approach on this tree this year, even though it could probably handle it. I'm just better safe than sorry, because this is a really nice elm. So this is what we have for now. We're going to go ahead and put this back out on the benches. Again, just feeding it and watering it like we do with all of our trees. And we'll revisit it in fall after, either when it turns color, because it's going to be a beautiful color tree this year in fall, or after the leaves have dropped, and then we can actually see the twig structure that we've gotten by doing what we did. Now again, what I've done is I've gone in here in the tree and I've left anywhere from 3 to 5 branches, and sometimes 7 on each one of these. There were some weaker branches that were on the back side of the tree. I've left those in favor of some stronger branches growing on the outside of the tree. And I know broom style is going to be a rounded canopy, but there were some larger main branches that were not in the right spaces. There was one that was in a crick where 2 trunks intersected together, and it was a really strong branch, but I need to eliminate it because we don't want one there. We wanted, if it was up higher on the tree, it would have been okay. So again, I've left more than I should have, just because I want this tree to be healthy. I want it to get as much energy as it can to store into the roots. So the health of the tree has a lot to do with what I've done on the tree this year as well. So we'll do a quick 360 here. I think it looks 10 times better than it did at this time last year. And there we go, nire elm. Thanks for watching.